Eye on the Movies with Corey Brunish, an Oregon perspective on Hollywood, the pictures, and the people.
Before DeForest Kelley stumbled onto the television role of Dr. McCoy, Star Trek's acerbic medical officer and Spock's verbal sparring partner, he was a serious actor who worked with some of the greats of motion pictures. Now appearing in his fourth big-screen Star Trek, Kelley gives perhaps his most nuanced portrayal of Bones McCoy. Recently in Los Angeles, I talked with Kelley about his life with Star Trek.
Did it occur to you when you signed the contracts that it would feed you for many years to come?
No, and I thought it had stopped feeding me at the end of 3 years. Most people are under the impression that we received, are still receiving residuals from that show, which we're not. And see, they ceased. That was before residuals were given to actors in perpetuity.
Right.
So all those years, you know, it was just suddenly you were unemployed, but you did get a certain amount of, we got over 7 residuals the first year, I think 8 or 9 the second, and 10, and that was it. So we just thought it was a show that had gone its merry way, you know, sadly. And then the rebirth came.
Yes. So even when they sell those collector's plates with the gold leaf at $30 a piece, you don't get any of that?
We get something, but it is minimal. It is not, you know, enough that you can just go out and jump up and down the streets and say, gee, this is great. It's not that much, really.
Early in your career, you acted with Brando. You've been in classics, Gunfight at the OK Corral, starring Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, who are, as well, are still plying their trade.
Aren't they? Making a comeback.
Yeah. What actor in particular do you think influenced you when you were coming up?
A kid? The one that made the strongest impression on me was an actor named Van Heflin, and I was in Long Beach at the time. And
you almost worked with him.
I've almost worked with him a couple of times, but I did have the privilege of meeting him and spending an evening in a very good friend of mine, a cameraman's home one evening, and I was very pleased to do that because he hit me when he did Johnny Eager with Robert Taylor. He won the Academy Award for the role. I just thought he was a wonderful character actor, a young character actor, and that was where I was heading in character juvenile parts. And he was kind of an idol of mine. And I had dinner with him one evening at this cameraman's house and had a long conversation with him. And he had a shirt on, a very unique shirt that had a scarf made on the collar. I was over and I commented on it. And the next morning there was a knock on the door and a delivery guy sent me that shirt from Van Heflin. So I was very flattered.
And that's sort of your trademark as the Doctor, isn't it?
It has been in the last 2 pictures because of the costumes that we left in. We were stuck in those costumes. So that's the reason for that. That was streetwear that I had on, see.
All right.
Yeah.
I mentioned to someone that I would be speaking with you, and they said, oh, I love him. And I said, why? And they said, because he's so natural.
Oh.
What do you attribute that to? Is that a specific training, or is it just something you fell into?
I studied in Long Beach, and I had, I worked with a woman named Mrs. Day, who was a very wonderful dramatic coach when I did decide that I was going to become serious about being an actor. And she worked with me a great deal, and she stressed that area so strongly. Then when I started in pictures, why I tried to pursue it as much as I could, you know, and it's kind of hung together.
Right now, DeForest Kelley is pursuing the voyage home in Star Trek IV. In Los Angeles, with an eye on the movies, I'm Corey Brunish.